I finished my first game while having a full-time job and only coding in the morning. Game dev takes so much less time than you actually think it does, and in this video I'll show you how to fit it into any schedule so you can actually release your first game. To make progress in game development, you only need around 60 to 90 minutes every day. I was around 90 minutes every day when I made my first game, which was Neon Search, and honestly that was enough for me. Like, even just 1 hour a day is completely enough to make a full game. 1 hour a day, that's 7 hours a week, that's 30 hours in a month. That's like a full-time job in itself. And you can get that many hours in a month by just having 1 hour every day. And chances are, if you really enjoy game development, you're going to find a little more time than just 1 hour every day to work on this. So, for example, you can work a few hours in the evenings and then you suddenly have 30, 33, you have 40 hours every single month. So if you, for example, just work a little in the evenings, you can easily get up to 40 hours every single month by just working a few evenings and 1 hour every day. Doesn't take more than that. And that's 100% enough time to actually make significant progress. You can go from a complete beginner to releasing your first game within only a few months if you only have 1 hour every single day. Doesn't take more than that, honestly. You should actually be able to start experimenting on your own with just a few hours of focused learning in the beginning. That's literally all it takes. But a lot of people, they fall into this trap of not experimenting and not rushing active learning enough in the beginning, and they just do a lot of passive learning, so they don't learn effectively. But if you actually implement the things I'm going to talk about in this video and the principles that I teach on this channel and inside of Smart Indie, then you're going to make progress 10 times faster than any other beginner, I promise you. Because that's a mistake so many beginners fall into when they first get into game development. So yeah, honestly, most beginners, they don't learn the most effective way. That's actually the brutal truth. But hopefully you're going to follow this advice and you aren't going to be a part of the 90%. And what's the trap, you might ask? Well, I kind of said before, but it's doing too much passive learning. So watching too many tutorials, just following guides over and over, and not focusing on active learning, where you actively take notes and you try to solve your own problems. And you try to just actively get better at problem solving in itself, like problem solving as a skill. It's not more complicated than just do more active learning. And by active learning, I mean that you should experiment on your own and you should just act a little curious. Try to be like a little kid that's very curious, and if you aren't, then just force yourself to be curious. So if you just avoid this trap of tutorial hell, which we call it, or basically just too much passive learning, then you're going to make progress faster than most. It might or might not be the reason why you have this belief that game dev takes so much time, because you can hear people that have been into game development for months or even years and they haven't made any significant progress. And you think, well, this is a journey that takes so long. But that's just because so many beliefs about game development is completely wrong, and there's so much bad knowledge out there. And this passive learning style, it's preached over and over again on YouTube and on other platforms, because the YouTubers that make the tutorials, it's very easy for them to profit off these tutorials because they feel productive, but they're not the actual real way to learn. So if you avoid this trap, then you're going to make progress so much faster than all the people you might have heard of before. Or you might have like this image in your mind about this journey taking so long. And honestly, it's not going to take that long if you just follow the principles that I teach and the principles that I teach inside of Smart Indie. And there are actually better ways to learn, like for example inside of Smart Indie, I have laid out everything step by step for you, so that you can quickly go from a overwhelmed beginner that thinks game dev takes so much time to actually experimenting on your own, using the knowledge that you actually gained in the beginning, so that you can actually learn on your own. You can train your own programming skills instead of just thinking you're productive, watching tutorials and not using your own brain and developing your own critical thinking skills. You can actually learn so much faster by experimenting, being curious, and just by constantly learning new things and actually applying them practically. And since everything is literally laid out step by step for you, it's basically impossible to make any other common mistakes that beginners make. We don't need to think about them right now. But just know that when you just follow a framework like Smart Indie, It's basically impossible to make these mistakes that makes you waste so much time, so that you can actually learn much faster. Now we basically destroyed the false belief that game dev takes so much time that you can't do it. Like, you can, even if you have a packed schedule. So now we can talk about how we're actually going to implement this into your schedule. Like, even if it's packed, I'm going to help you find time for it. So my best recommendation is to wake up either very early, like at 5-6 a.m, like a few hours before you go to work or you do your obligations, whatever it might be, or you do it very late in the evenings. Basically, the point here is just to do it at a time where we have very low external distractions. Basically, the whole point there. And it can be both in the very early morning or in the very late evenings. Doesn't really matter, but preferably you do it in the mornings, because in the mornings you have a natural increase in mental energy, which is obviously very beneficial, because an interesting thing, like a side note, that your memory is actually better in the morning. Did you know that? Because I didn't. I looked up the benefits of waking up early, and I found out you have like a natural increase in cortisol, and even your memory is better. So that's very relevant to what we're talking about right now, about memorizing things and actively learning. So wake up early, that's my recommendation. And now you might obviously think, Kevin, I can't fit that into my schedule. And then just change the schedule. Like, if you got $1 million to change your schedule and wake up at 6 a.m. every single day to just work 1 hour before you went to work or school, then you'd find the time for it, right? So if I actually want to learn game development, it doesn't really take that much more than just waking up 1 hour earlier. Like, basically, like, there's so many things you can do to actually find time for this and actually manage to wake up early. If you have done it before or you failed, for example, there's so many things you can do to just do it, because everyone can do it. Like, I wasn't even a morning person before. I was the person that would just wake up 10 minutes before I had to go to school, like literally, or just take on some clothes, go to the bathroom and just walk to school basically. And now I wake up at 4:15 a.m. every day. So if I can do it, like, that's a 4-hour shift in my schedule. If I can do it, then you can do it too. But when I went to work, I didn't wake up at 4 a.m. I woke up around 5:30, I think. And then I worked until 8 a.m. But that's obviously 2.5 hours. But you don't have to do 2.5 hours. You can do 1 hour even. As long as you use that 1 hour effectively, doesn't really matter if it's 2.5 or 1 hour. You can get a lot done in both of them. But what I will say is that if you have limited time, which you probably have if you're watching this video, then it's very important that you focus on effective planning. So it doesn't have to be my channel, but I do have videos about planning and inside of Smart Indie. But it doesn't need to be my channel. Just try to search up things that are like relevant to planning. Just basically treat it as a skill to plan, and just plan effectively and be very, very productive when you are actually sitting down to work for that 1 hour, because we have limited time. And maybe don't plan within that 1 hour. Maybe do it all once you're on the toilet or having a walk. Like, just plan it down. And inside of Smart Indie, I give you a fully automated Trello board as well as a Notion template where you can kind of write in the tasks so that they're ready when you go to your PC. So you can download the Trello app on your phone, and then you have the Trello website on your PC, so that when you have an idea for a task you can do and you are planning out, you can just use your phone when, as I said, you're on the bathroom or taking a walk, whatever it might be. You can just write down the planning on your phone, and then when you log onto your PC, then it's completely ready on your PC, because it's synced, and it's also a very clean template. Like, it does everything for you. All you have to do is basically just write the tasks that you do, and you check off when you are done. That's basically it. So just try to learn how to do effective planning. As I said, it doesn't need to be my channel, but I do have a lot of resources on that on my channel. And inside of Smart Indie, I give you the specific templates that you need, but I don't care if it's from me or someone else. The last thing is that when we work from home, It's very important that we reduce our external distractions. That's exactly why I say that it should be early in the mornings or late in the evenings. Because then no one can distract you at like 6 a.m. because no one in your household is awake probably. Or if they do, they're probably busy with something else because they had a reason to wake up so early. Or late in the evenings. Like hopefully no one in your household is just awake at 12 a.m. to distract you, hopefully, or sending you messages, whatever. Like, there are just very quiet times where it's very easy to focus on game development and you don't have anything else to do at 12 a.m. or 6 a.m. So that's why there are the best times to work. So to summarize, 1 hour every day on average, 7 days a week, completely enough to make good progress in game development. You should wake up early or go to sleep very late so that we reduce external distractions. And you should learn effectively by doing active learning instead of passive learning. Like, instead of watching tutorials, we should instead start building projects and doing experiments as beginners. And if you want to make this journey 10 times easier and you want to have access to all the knowledge that I wish I had when I was started, then you can check out the first link in the description, Smart Indie, and you can join today. So I'll see you there.